There are moments in life when the silence of nature is more unsettling than the noise of the world. I learned this the hard way on a solo hiking trip through the rugged trails of the Appalachian Mountains. It was supposed to be a weekend of peace and solitude. Just me, my backpack, and the untamed wilderness. But what I encountered in those dense woods changed my perception of nature forever. I had always been an avid hiker, and I prided myself on my ability to navigate difficult trails alone. The Appalachian Mountains had always called to me, and after months of planning, I finally decided to embark on a 3-day solo hike along a lesser-known section of the trail. It was late September, the air crisp with the first whispers of autumn, and the leaves were just beginning to turn gold and red. The first day was uneventful. I set up camp near a small stream, cooked a simple meal, and spent the evening reading by the fire. The stillness of the forest was a welcome change from the constant buzz of city life. I had no reason to suspect that something was watching me, lurking just beyond the reach of the firelight. The first sign that something was off came on the second day. I'd been hiking for hours, following a winding trail deeper into the mountains. The further I went, the quieter the forest became. Birds that had been chirping in the morning had gone silent, and even the rustling of small animals in the underbrush seemed to have ceased. Then I heard it. Footsteps. They were faint, almost imperceptible beneath the crunch of my own boots against the leaf-covered trail. But they were there, matching my pace, stopping when I stopped. At first I dismissed it as paranoia, convincing myself it was the natural sounds of the forest playing tricks on my mind. But as I set up camp that night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I chose a clearing surrounded by thick trees, making sure my tent was well hidden from the trail. As darkness fell, I built a fire, the flickering flames casting long shadows on the trees. That's when I saw it. A figure, just on the edge of the firelight, too far to make out details, but close enough for me to see that it was human-shaped. My heart pounded as I stared into the darkness, trying to convince myself that my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then it moved. I scrambled for my flashlight and pointed it toward the trees. The beam cut through the night, but there was nothing there. The figure was gone. I barely slept that night. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig made me sit up, gripping the knife I kept in my sleeping bag. I told myself I was overreacting, that it was probably another hiker passing through. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. By morning, I was exhausted but determined to finish my hike. I packed up and continued on, moving faster than before. But as the hours passed, I realized something was wrong. The trail, which had been well marked before, was becoming less defined. The trees looked unfamiliar, and my GPS, which had been working fine the day before, now showed nothing but a blank screen. Panic started to creep in. I had studied this route carefully. I knew I should have reached a key landmark by now, a large rock formation known as the Twin Pillars. But there was no sign of them. Then I heard the footsteps again. This time, they were closer, much closer. I turned around, expecting to see another hiker. But the path behind me was empty. The trees stood still, their gnarled branches swaying slightly in the wind. That's when I saw the footprints, fresh, deep impressions in the soft dirt. Not mine. Someone had been following me. I quickened my pace, hoping to find my way back to a familiar part of the trail. But no matter which direction I took, the path seemed to twist and turn in ways that made no sense. It was as if the forest itself was shifting, leading me deeper into its grasp. Then, just as the sun began to dip below the horizon, I stumbled into a clearing. At first, Relief flooded through me. An open space meant a chance to get my bearings. But then I saw what was in the center of the clearing. A campsite, not mine. A tattered tent stood there, its fabric torn and weathered as if it had been abandoned for years. A rusted camping stove lay on its side, and next to it, a small pile of bones. Animal, I hoped. And then I saw the journal. It was half buried in the dirt, its pages yellowed with age. With shaking hands, I picked it up and flipped through the pages. The handwriting was frantic, barely legible. But the words chilled me to my core. The last entry was dated 2 years ago, and it was signed with my name, "To be continued."